What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again this week. I'm super excited to celebrate victories, to get after it with another member of the Flip Lifestyle community so we can help them take their dream to the next level. But we're going to do a little something different this week. A few months ago, Jocelyn and I were brainstorming ideas for the podcast, and my wise, beautiful, smarter than me wife had an amazing idea. She said, Shane, you always talk about ripples and causing ripples out in the world. Like, what if we went out and took our students, but we got some of their students, people from their online business, and we brought them on and we could see the impact that not only we were making on our students, but that our students were making on theirs. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a great idea, Jocelyn Sams. I can't believe that I did not think of that, but that is why she is smarter than me. But we started talking about that, this ripples concept, because that's a really core tenet at Flip Lifestyle. There's a famous quote by Mother Teresa. A reporter was asking her, do you really think that you can change the world all by yourself? And Mother Teresa answered back to him, no, but I can pick my stone up and cast it out upon the waters and cause many ripples. And that's what we try to do every single day at Flip Lifestyle. We are an outcome independent organization. We try to provide as much opportunity to people as possible, but we want to cause those ripples. We want to throw our stone. If Pat Flynn had never picked his stone up and cast it out upon the waters, and he had never started a podcast talking about earning passive income on the internet, I would have never got hit by a ripple, and I would have never started my first online business. Jocelyn would not have started her first online business. And then we would not have picked our stone up and cast it out and helped thousands of other people start, build, and grow their online businesses too. So that's what we're all about here, is ripples. And we know that our students are uniquely gifted by God to go out and impact people and cause ripples that we could never do. But our students are equipped with stories, with wisdom, with knowledge, with things that we are talents and skills that we could never take to the marketplace. So those ripples, if we can pick up our stone, we can cast it out, and our ripples hit other people and they can hit their stone and they can hit other people. Then all of a sudden that thing starts going around the world and good things happen. So recently I was at an event in Chicago, Illinois, and I just happened to be downstairs at the time, and an amazing friend and student and a guy on my team, this guy named Evan Burse. He was with me on the road that week. We were working on some stuff, doing a Flip Lifestyle event. And I'm going through the lobby of the hotel, and I see Evan standing there, and he's talking to this guy. So I walk up, and I'm like, "What's up, Evan?" And Evan introduced me to this amazing guy named Dameron Cribbs. And I'm like, "How do y'all know each other?" And Dameron goes, "Man, I'm his student. He's my mentor, man. I'm a member of his membership and his art and all this other stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, this is great." And we all started talking about stuff. And then Evan was like, "Well, this is the dude that helped me, man, when I started my thing." And we all started talking, this idea of the Ripples podcast hit me right in the face. So I said, boys, we got to get on the podcast. We got to talk together. And that is what we're going to do today, man. This is the first official Ripples podcast here at Flip Lifestyle. So first and foremost, let me bring on my good friend, my brother from another mother on the other side of the coast, baby. Evan Burse, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, y'all? Shane, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a while since I've been on the Flip Lifestyle podcast, dude. I forgot, when was the first one? Like,
I don't even know, man. It was long
whatever
ago.
man.
I mean, it might have been double digits. I don't know when it was, man. But dude, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm pumped up. And thanks for getting up early. I just want to let everybody know, Evan's a West Coast dude, and he's up early to record this for you guys. He's doing this for you, not me. Okay, so you need to thank him by going and giving him some views over on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So let me go back to your story, okay? Because it's been a while since you've been on the show, so I want to make sure that we get everybody up to speed on what Evan Burse is doing, man. So real quick, tell everybody about your business real quick, just the 2-sentence, 3-sentence thing, what you do online.
My thing is that I just show people how to draw their favorite superheroes like the pros, and just simply have fun doing it.
Now, when you say pros, you mean yourself. That's what you mean. Because when we first met, okay, when you first found the podcast well, I don't even remember exactly how we started talking. It was through the website. But like tell people what you were doing like right before you got involved with Flip Lifestyle.
Before I got involved with Flip Lifestyle, I was working full-time in the animation industry. And as a hobby on the side, I started my own YouTube channel, just showing, kids out there or whoever, aspiring adults, how to draw, have fun drawing their favorite superheroes. And that was it. Just doing YouTube videos and trying to turn that part-time hobby into a full-time, endeavor, full-time income. And I was stuck. I was always stuck and trying to just, figure out how to do it. I'm trying to, leave my full-time animation job working at Marvel, and Warner Brothers.
I was hoping you was going to say that, because if you didn't, I was going to say it. This ain't no joke, y'all. He wasn't like sticking around, drawing Mickey Mouse in his basement. He was working at Marvel, drawing actual superheroes, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But that was a grind, though, dude. You were there. Like, I remember talking to you in the beginning. You're like there all the time. You were always at the office, like every day, man.
Yeah, so it was trying to work there in the full-time industry, 9 to 5, or just really like what was like 9 to 9. You
got paid 9 to 5, but they kept you there until 9 o'clock, right?
So working there and then trying to transition and do this hobby thing online of having my YouTube channel and trying to turn into a thriving business, and I simply could not get that YouTube ad revenue up to where I could support, my wife and 4 kids. Okay.
Dude, that game, man, I can't tell you how many people I consult, and they always want to be YouTubers and they want to make money with views. And I'm like, let me show you the actual math formula that they use, to make money. And it's just an illusion that you're going to be the next Mr. Beast or the next, Dude Perfect. It's just not true. You've got to monetize beyond the content. Content is simply attention. That's all it is, and attention is worth really nothing until you can serve people and you can solve a problem and you can monetize past the attention. I know a whole lot of influencers that are broke. I know a whole lot of people that get millions and millions of views that do not make millions and millions of dollars. They don't even make millions and millions of pennies, son. Y'all know what I'm talking about out there? So like, man, that's just the way it is. And I remember when you came in and we were talking, I'll never forget it. We were talking, I remember our first conversation. You were telling me about this. We started looking at some stuff. And I just remember going, Evan, please don't talk anymore for the next 30 minutes. Let us just show you what to do here. Because we knew if you would just create a course and you could put it out there online, that's where you were going to be able to make some money. Because instead of getting a 5-cent ad click, you're going to be getting a $30, $50, $100 click, or a $49 a month membership that they could pay every month. And then, man, we went to work, didn't we? I mean, we went to work.
We went to work. Remember that very first coaching call, and it was like January or something, and of that year, and got on the coaching call with you, Shane, and Jocelyn, and you guys saw like what audience and things I had built already, and you know what? And you said to me, Evan, you are sitting on top of a gold mine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
And we did the coaching. You held my hand, walked me through it. We had our bumps and bruises. I was like, is this dude telling me to do all this stuff?
Dude, I remember.
Right?
Dude, I remember. I don't remember what it was, but it was real late at night one night. And I think we were like arguing about something. And I was like, you were like, I'm done with this. I'm like, no, you're not. And we were seriously like arguing to make this thing happen. And it's funny because I think everyone in every journey they take where they're trying to do something externally in the world, you're going to hit that point where you might quit. Like it happened to me, man. I remember one night. I remember the night I was going to quit, dude. And I had made no money on the internet for months. And I remember I got an 11-cent ad click, and that was all. And that was that night I was literally deciding to give up, and I got an ad click, and I made money on the internet for the first time. And I was like that, and it proved it was real. And that's what kept me going. But sometimes you just got to have a moment that can keep you going, or a friend or a colleague or a coach or a mentee or a mastermind member, man. Like you just can't do anything in life alone, because it's going to come down to that giving up point.
That is so true. So you need that kind of outside force. And that's what you and Jocelyn were for me. It was just simply just like, no, Evan, you can do it. Like, no, you're so close and you can do it. And it was trying to work in my 9-to-5 job, and then come home. And as you coach me through how to create my first, digital product and get that done and out there. And I'm like, I'm giving myself 2 jobs. I remember it was late at night. It's like around like 2 a.m. I should have my butt in the bed, but I'm up late drinking coffee, trying to get this video course done. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah, but then you launched the course and everything worked out fine. Tell everybody real quick. Let's remind them what happened after that.
Well, got the course done. I have to say that, Shane, you gave me that deadline. And if I didn't have that deadline, I would have procrastinated. I had to have that deadline. And so I had that deadline. You gave me 30 days. I think so. We started our coaching call in January, I believe, my initial coaching call with you and Jocelyn. And then February, boom, you said have it done by the end of February. And I hustled to get that thing done. And I remember Jocelyn's words. She kept telling me, she said, Evan, it ain't gotta be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gotta be done. Her voice was constantly in my head. I remember her telling me that. And so I kept getting it done, and we finally got it done. And then Shane, you showed me how to hype it up, tease it, market it, promote it, which is all the knowledge. I had no idea of what to do, how to promote it. I just knew how to pick up a pencil and draw. But you showed me the other skills I needed to get it out to the masses. And we launched it. And in the first 24 hours, I made $10,000.
Oh, baby. That was that, man. I remember celebrating with you, man. I was high-fiving Jocelyn. I was waking up the kids, man. Like, I was like, man, that was crazy. And the first month was crazy. It blew up in the first month.
Yeah. So that led on to the first month of sales, $30,000. Crazy. Of selling a digital product. I mean, I was sitting on something I was not even aware of. I just did not know how to monetize my skill.
You were sitting on your God-given gifts. That's what you were sitting on. And all of us are, we're taught these lies the way the world makes us live about, get a job. Nobody tells you to use your gifts, right? Nobody tells you to lean into those things that make you happiest, that you're most talented at, that you can steward and serve other people with. You know what I'm saying? And like when you were using your gift to get a job, right? But you weren't expanding your gift to serve the masses. You were using your gifts to make money for you. You were using your gifts to make money for your family. That's cool. That's an income. That's amazing, right? But when you open the door to say, hey, now my gift is a gift to the world. Other people can learn from me. And you have their best interest at heart. Like you're teaching people to draw so that they can go do it better and be happier, so that they can have less stress and anxiety, so that maybe they can pursue a career in animation or going out and writing children's books or going out and doing other things. Then now you're using your gift to magnify that's that ripple, right? It's like, you can be the rock sitting on the shore. You can hold down the dirt that's under you. You can be the rock on the shore, and you got your dirt right underneath you. This is my dirt. It's all I got. It's mine, right? Or you can throw into the water, cause the ripple, man, and go out and stir up the dirt all over the place, right? And nothing. And the most powerful force on earth is water. It's going to run through mountains. It's going to dig tunnels. It's going to do everything else, man. So when we cause that ripple, baby, then it's out in the world. And what's funny is, the earth is a ball, right? It's a globe. If you cause a big enough ripple, it's eventually going to come back and bless you too, right all over again, man. So that's what you did, man. You just picked your rock up and threw it, and good things happened. Did you see? I mean, I'm gonna get the dammer on here just a second, but did you see immediate impact in people's lives when they started taking your courses? Like, well, first of all, how long did it take you to quit Marvel? I never can remember how long you were.
Oh, I will have. I said my first coaching call was with you guys in January. I quit Marvel in July.
That's amazing. 0 to 6 months, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And then, when did you first start realizing that people were like, you were because a lot of us think people come to me all the time. They're like, yeah, but you help people start businesses. And I'm like, no, that's not, you don't understand, man. I see people that teach people how to raise chickens in their backyard and change their lives, right? Because everything we do to serve someone else makes their life better. Like, when did you first realize that you were making a difference with the cartoonblock.com?
I first realized I was making a difference when some of my initial students who had bought the course emailed me, and they were telling me things like, Evan, like this, you really inspired me. Not only through your YouTube channel and your consistency of putting out the videos and seeing your kids, Evan, in your videos, and, oh, wow, this guy's a family man and he's drawing superheroes and things like that. I mean, I'm getting emails like that. So it was like people like, and then I took your course, Evan. You allowed me a chance to go even deeper, not just how to learn to draw a superhero head. I took your course and I went deeper into drawing action poses, and it allowed me to have more peace in my life. It allowed me to have more motivation, and you inspired me. And when I'm reading these emails, or people are like, I inspire you. I motivate you. You're having peace in your life. I'm like, I'm not Jesus. What is this? I just show people
You're
how
just
to
a
draw.
servant, baby. You're the hands and feet of him, though. You might not be him, but you're the hands and feet, son. You know what I'm saying, man?
And so I never thought that my gifts could help other people's lives. I thought that I was simply showing people how to just have fun and loosen up. But in that, they came back and gave me feedback saying, Evan, you made my life better. Because a lot of guys who I was tutoring and mentoring, they would say things like Evan, I thought I'm stuck in my regular 9 to 5, Evan, and as an IT consultant, or I've had police officers, a lot of IT guys, personal fitness trainers, construction workers, truck drivers, all kinds of, men from various industries just want to learn how to draw, and they simply have fun with it. And they say, Evan, I just look forward to coming home at night and just drawing Batman or Superman or Spider-Man, and it brings me joy. I'm like, wow, I did not realize that.
Dude,
so
you're bringing joy. I mean, forget that J-O-B, J-O-Y, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's incredible, dude. And here's another thing too, that I don't know, you probably never thought about that. You may have thought about this. So, we have all the time, people will come up to us and be like, I had someone last week. They're like, yeah, I've got 2,500 members. I don't even know who they were. I didn't even know. They said, oh yeah, I bought this thing and I got your newsletter and I started marketing with it. And now I've got like 2,500 people in this Facebook group thing. And I'm like,
wow,
I know. It's like, now you don't even know what's out there. And I was talking to some buddies of mine this morning. We were talking about like philanthropy and giving and stuff like that. And I was like, one of my favorite things to do, and I'm not doing this to toot my own horn, people, so please don't tweet me. It's like, I really like to tip a lot. That's one of the things that since I've been blessed financially, I really enjoy tipping. We were at Thanksgiving one year and my family, half of them were out of town. So me and my mom and dad and my wife and my kids and a couple other people in my family that were still in town, we just decided to go to Cracker Barrel. Nobody wanted to cook. And we were like, let's go Cracker Barrel. We'll just eat there. Right. They had Thanksgiving dinner. No big deal. So we go to Cracker Barrel, we're eating. And I looked up and I thought, man, this lady's working on Thanksgiving, so my family can have a Thanksgiving dinner. And so I left her $100 bill and she came and ran out crying and like hugged me, and my son looked at me and he was like, what happened right there? Because I didn't tell him what I was doing. I said, well, I gave her $100 and it really made a difference to her because, she was sacrificing here for us. So we want to do something for her. And Isaac, from that moment on, dude, he always asks me, how much you going to tip? Right. And I'm like, he always asks me that when we go out to eat, man. But I love the concept of tipping is good to me because you can ghost. You don't see the reaction. You don't see what it's all about. It has nothing to do with you. Of course, it feels good to give, but you tip 50%, 100% on a meal. And you just know that at least that for that moment, that person had at least a good part of their day, And I think with your business, what always fascinates me is, with people who do what you do, or a lot of people teach writers in our community and like teach people how to write books and novels and even storytellers out there podcasting and stuff, right? Like you will never know some of the stories that will be created with the skills you equip people with, whether people write their own comic book and they just pass it down to their grandchildren, or maybe they publish it on Amazon, or maybe they just write it for themselves. And it was just like, I finally got that story out of my head before the day I died. And like, that's gonna, like, that could echo, man. Like imagine 2 generations down, if somebody's digging through great grandfather's stuff, right? And they find this comic book that they drew, and the great grandkids are sitting there looking at it and they ask mom and dad, what's this? And they're like, oh man, I didn't even know that mom or dad drew that. That's incredible, man. Cool. And like, that's the thing. It's not just about making money. It's not just about doing it, but it's bringing joy into people's life through your gifts. And it's ultimately creating legacy as well.
True. And to add on to that, it's just, I think that so many of us just want to try to chase that money. It's like money does bring comfort. I agree with that, but it doesn't bring joy. It'll bring comfort and make you feel good and give you certain conveniences. But at the end of the day, we all want to, be at the end of our lives and we want to say, did I help someone make someone's life better? Did I change the world with my little gift? How did I benefit? You know what? Was my life meaningful? Was my life worth it? Money is cool. Money's the icing on the cake, but it's not the cake itself.
That's right, man.
So that's
money makes the mission possible. That's what I always say. Money makes the mission possible. Whatever your mission is, whether you like, it's like if you want to go on a 2,000-mile journey, you're gonna need a car. That's the machine that makes that mission possible. If I'm gonna drive to see Evan Burse from Kentucky to LA, I'm gonna need a car. I ain't gonna walk it, right? And that's what money does. But if you use your gifts in the right way, and you're always keeping other people in mind, then you will have the money to be able to make those gifts happen. And I know you're using your gifts, man, out in the marketplace, because I've got the pleasure of meeting one of your amazing students. All right, so let's bring him on right now. But I'm gonna Evan, tell me real quick about Dameron Cribbs, then we're gonna bring him on to the show.
So before we bring him onto the show, just give a little feedback, and a little insight on his background. So this guy had been following me on YouTube for a number of years, and he bought my first digital course, Draw Action Volume 1, and was showing in our private Facebook group with the other members and sharing his artwork. And eventually we got onto a coaching call one day, and I remember I was asking him, like, Dameron, can I see your Instagram? I want to know how my students are promoting themselves out there and sharing their gifts with the world. And he showed me his Instagram. I was blown away. I'm looking at the Green Lantern he drew and the DC hero Vixen, and I'm like, wait a minute. This dude's been following me, and I need
to follow him. That's what I need.
Exactly. I'm like, what? And so we get on a coaching call, and he's like, yeah, Evan, I just been following you for years. You've inspired me. And I'm just like, Dameron, wow, you've actually been listening to me. But I'm like, dude, you are up here. Like, you're up here on my level now, man. Like, you've been doing it then. And but yeah, so I got with Dameron, and I simply asked him, was like, hey, man, what's your next stage in your, art journey? What is your next stage? And he had ideas, and we're talking about, him doing a comic and how he didn't know how to get over that hump, because doing a comic was a big thing. But I'll let Dameron go ahead and tell us about it. So Dameron, how was it for you first coming into the Cartoon Block Academy, and how did you get introduced to me? And just give me your side of it,
Dameron Cribbs is now here on the podcast, man, ready to go.
Hey, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate being on this. Yeah, man, I'm just going to give you a quick backstory. I went to Illinois Institute of Art in Chicago for animation, media arts and animation. So my goal at that point in time in my life, I wanted to be an animator. Fast forward, it didn't happen. Like life happens, it didn't happen. And I honestly went to animation school, and then I went to a bunch of other animation schools and got burnt out basically. And I took a break, and I didn't see myself going back into animation because I was still burnt out. At this point, I had a family. But me being an artist, it's something a joy that you did when you was a kid, and we got to get back to that childlike mentality of the joy. So I went back to drawing. In 2016, I just moved into my apartment with my wife, and I was just so happy to be looking on my laptop for how to draw heads. I was getting back into drawing, and basically I was struggling a little bit. So I went on to YouTube. This is why I'm looking at YouTube as like the free college thing. And I said, you know what, instead of me just drawing a bunch of things and messing up, let me just start from scratch. Start at one body part at a time. And I looked at how to draw heads. And that's when I discovered the cartoon block. And it was a bunch of different videos, but Evan's cartoon block caught my attention. I watched it. I loved it. I said, okay, fast forward. I'm watching his videos a lot often, not even realizing how much I'm watching his video. It's teaching me a lot. And the difference that Evan had different than everyone else, one, he was a ball of energy. That caught my attention. He's a ball of energy. He took it slow, and I processed it, really well. He did step by step. It didn't take long, and I processed it well. That would make him different from everyone else. And then I bought his book. Now, I bought his book before I just moved in this apartment. I watched a couple of videos, and I bought his book before I could buy all the rest of my furniture. So
that's amazing. Like, that's incredible. Your wife's like, hey man, we need a chair. And you're like, nah, man, we got to have a book. We can sit on the floor and read this book.
Oh man, it's no joke. I let her know. So at this point, I could tell you, I bought a dining room table and his book at the same time.
So you got to have a place to put the book. Yeah, right. That's why you got to get the table. It makes sense.
Exactly.
Step by step, brick by brick, man.
I bought his book. I only thing I had furniture wise was we had our bed and we had a dining room table. We had nothing else. That was it. And I saw that he was advertising his Facebook page, and I got on there. I saw a live crew of artists all showing their artwork. And it got me very, very inspired. And Evan was forcing us show artwork. So at this point in time, I didn't know the Evan Burse as far as me having one-on-one. It was just me being part of his class and putting up my art and mingling with the other artists and being inspired. Fast forward from there, years later, yeah, man, I got on Instagram. I got off social media. I thought it was distracting me. The pandemic ended up happening, and at this point, I'm drawn more. I got back on social media, but I didn't get on Facebook, so I wasn't following Evan anymore. But I wanted to. How can I follow him if I wasn't on his Facebook page? So I got on Instagram because Instagram is I saw a bunch of artists just posting art, and I want to discipline myself to do my own little projects. I ended up emailing Evan because he used to send us back when I was on Facebook. He used to send us like live little streams that he's on his Saturday sessions. So I still had his email. I emailed him and just like, hey, how's it going? Sorry to bother you, that type of thing. And yeah, he saw my work and he asked me what I want to do with my artwork. And I at this point I didn't know. I'm just like, well, I'm not getting into animation. So I grew up on comic books. Comic books got me with everything I want to do. I was like, yeah, the comic book thing. And he asked me, hey, you want to do a comic book? And I was like, I didn't know what to say.
That sounds a lot like when I ask people, so you want to start an online business? And then you realize, oh wait, I got to make a pot of coffee at 2 a.m. There's a work behind it. Got to roll up our sleeves now, baby. Let's go.
You're right. Right.
After he asked me that, I didn't know what to expect. I'd never done this before. I didn't know what to expect. I was very nervous, and it's coming from Evan Burse. I'm like, of course. He said, yeah, I have a team. If you want to, I think it'd be good for you if you work with a team. I saw your artwork, and I think this will be very good for you. And at this point, I almost shut it down because I worked with teams before and I know how that goes. And I just like, well, I want to do
hold on. You know how that's went.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah,
of course.
Let's always put that in perspective, man. Listen, we can never shy away from the old dog, new trick thing, right? We got to have perspective. Things in the past do not influence the future, right? I want everybody to know, and I know where the story's going. I just want everybody out there that says somebody in their car was driving and heard, I know how teams go. And someone said, I do know how teams go. I'm like, no. You know how teams went. Your next team might be the one that takes you to freedom, right?
Absolutely.
So make sure we get that in perspective. Guys, okay?
Absolutely. That's correct, because when you're in school working on a team, it's grades involved, and you're going to have that person that lags or whatever that don't care about the grade, but the other team is going to pick it up because they don't want their grades to fall. But now money is not involved, grades not involved. I don't know what to expect from this because it's nothing is going to make you do what you're supposed to do. So I almost shut it down, but he was very persistent about it. He said, I think this would be good for you. I said, okay. I'm not going to be negative about it. Evan is telling me something, and I'm going to listen to it and see what happens. And man, from that day forward, it definitely changed my life. period.
How long did it take? Let me ask you that, and well, before we get to how long it took, Darren, let me ask you, like, what was your experience working with the initial team members? How did you feel as far as like people's contributions and efforts and things like that?
So I went in optimistic. I said, okay, these are a group of people I don't know. Went in thinking very positive about it, and it was positive. It started off moving very, very well. But then life happens. People have their families, people have their jobs and things. And I'm working with a team that's from different parts of the world. So we all on different schedules and different time zones. What ends up happening is the frustration of when can we all get things out at the same time? Yeah. And other people have more important things. Well, I'm not blaming. They have more important things to do as far as family, as far as work. And it became frustrating for everyone. No one argued anything. It's just this is the first time we're doing this. That's one. And then we're working on a very harsh time zone. And the good thing about it, we have Evan to make everything balanced out. So everyone pretty much, at that point of time of me doing it, the book, it was almost a year, if not a year, I want to believe. Mm-hmm. It took a while. It took a while.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How long did you think it should? All right, let's go should here, because I like the word should is very loaded. How long did you think it should take you to write a comic book before you started that? Probably I will be done with this. 60 days? What'd you think, man? Like,
no, I thought at least it'd take at least 3 months, maybe
3 months,
and that was the max. I thought 3 months.
Humans are awful at time, dude. I hired this book coach. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to crank this book out 30 days. You don't know me, man. You don't know Shane Sams. I'm just going to crank it out in 30 days, book coach. And I'm still working on it. It's been 6 months. Are you kidding me? I ain't even halfway done. It's funny because I know Evan's probably like, 3 months. Okay, big daddy. He's like, well, but it's funny as a coach, sometimes you just gotta let somebody step into the quagmire and get them far enough in where they can't turn back. Right.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
And have that guiding hand,
The guiding hands was definitely what we needed. I guess, us not doing it, the changes, you go on trials and error, waiting and things like that. It definitely played a role for this. And it taught me a very valuable lesson. Being persistent, being not giving up. When Evan comes in, it became frustrating with that too, because Evan was like our editor. So, and I had no idea I knew he had our team, but at this point in time, I didn't know he had other teams he was working with as well. And it was a team of 4. My team was a team of 4. So we came up with the story. We did the drawings for it. We changed things. Evan would come in and he'd tell us what needs to go, what goes well, what we need to change and everything. And it seemed like the closer we got, not necessarily to finish, but the more we did, the more people didn't necessarily drop off, but they just didn't put as much time into it, which was going to make it prolonged even longer.
Yeah.
With that, it was more like one of the most frustration things was not only that, but if you worked hard on something, then Evan sees it and Evan would say, all right, look, I don't like that. That's how it is.
That's what an editor's supposed to do, though, David.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Of course you don't say that. I worked so hard on that. Like, I got to change it.
No, man, listen, I was a football coach in college one time, and this head coach I was like a GA at this, and he said, go make me this thing. He wanted basically a yearbook for everyone that even had any remote interest or touch of the football team. Right. And I worked, I didn't sleep for like 2 days. I just was going to people's dorm rooms and taking pictures and all this crap and trying to get headshots of everybody. And we didn't have them all yet. And he just wanted everybody to be able to look up everybody's faces. And he looked at it once and we never even printed them and handed them out. I was like, are you kidding me, man? Like, why did I do all that? But it was like, he's like, well, I thought I might use it, but I decided not to. And I was like, all right, you're in charge, man. I guess that's the way it goes. You see more than we see.
Man.
But that's good, dude. But imagine this, though. Imagine if you had not had a coach there. when there was frustration, when life was happening, when without that, like that's what a coach is there for, man. Like there's a very good chance, like if just people are doing this without the coach, it dissolves at some point, you know. And you had that in. So how'd you feel when you had that, when we make it to the other side of the project, right? How did you feel when you all did that?
So it got to a point where I definitely was about to give up because I looked at it like like I said, the team had their own thing going on. And I looked at it like, well, I have a life too. I'm not getting paid for this. This is not, and I didn't look at the bigger picture up until it was like, I don't know. I didn't want to disappoint Evan. He took this time out to share something with me, and I didn't want to disappoint. So that would give me that energy not to give up. That's one. But yet I was still frustrated. It was at a point of time when I took a break, like not a long break, of course, because I'm on this comic, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna get some sleep. I've been working on this thing constantly, and I haven't really looked at it. So I took a nap, I played with my kids, and I got up and I said, you know what? Let's get to work. And as I was walking to it, you're like, oh, I gotta do this. I'm looking at it like, wow, this thing is looking, I did that. It was looking almost professional, almost. Like I'm looking at this thing, and it's something that I didn't think I was capable of doing. And I guess by me constantly looking at it, I didn't see the progression in it until I rest my eyes. And at that straightforward, I said, you know what? I knew what it was. I knew what Evan was doing was working. And it gave me so much energy and gave me so much positive energy to keep it going. And I showed it to Evan. I told Evan, like, hey, this thing look good. Evan, like, I know it does. Like, he's seeing the whole time, and me, I'm like, why am I just now realizing this? I'm just now realizing how good this is looking. And as I work, it's becoming better. I'm learning from Evan. He was showing me every time I put out something, I start to realize no matter how I was get frustrated over the changes, but the changes is actually helping me improve. Yeah. He's helping me improve everything, the consistency, his professional eyes looking and telling me what changes to make. And it was at that aha moment that I realized, oh man, this guy is the truth. He's helping me become that artist I want to become.
Man, that's inspiring, dude. That's so inspiring because and I know there's more to the story, which we're gonna get to, you know what I'm saying? But like that's what we mean by ripples. It's like people always get so fixated on money and things like that. But man, just like creating belief in people, creating peace in people, holding people to the fire when they try to give up. Man, what if everybody had somebody like that in their life, in their specific gifts, in their specific interests out into the world? And I was writing a couple things down too. Like, it's so funny, everybody thinks you should go get that college degree, right? Get education. That's going to lead to the promised land. Well, for me and Evan, both our story, I mean, it led us to what we wanted to do, but that was a life of burnout and working for other people and them telling us what to do. And for you, it would burn you out before you even had a chance to go out and get a job, right? In your animating industry. But then you buy this online course from this YouTuber, right? And all of a sudden you're in this moment of where you have a potential to change your thought processes, to change your mind, to change your belief in yourself, to actually pursue a career with your art. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny, man, when I hear people about, I'll spend $100,000 on college, but I won't spend a couple grand on coaching. Well, I'm like, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. Like, I've been down both roads. I know both of the way it happens. And I promise you that I have seen way more successful people created by online businesses at this point than I ever have anybody that I went to school with, college with, or anything else. And what I loved about how you found Cartoon Block is something we tell everybody else. People are always like, well, who's going to listen to me? And granted, Evan has bona fides. Evan Burse is extremely qualified. Probably one of the most qualified people on the planet Earth to teach people how to draw comic books and superheroes, honest to God. But you didn't say, man, I saw this dude and he worked at Marvel. That's not what you said. You said, I found this guy on YouTube. I loved his energy. I loved his personality. I loved the way he taught me things. I loved the on-demand nature of it. You didn't say a word he worked for Marvel or who he drawed. Nobody cares about that stuff. That's what they got from college. They got the professional with the PhD C3 or whatever their little letters are after their names. And then that's what online business can do. It can actually, you know, it's so transactional when you go to professional. And people are going to write in, I'm bashing college, whatever. It's fine. But like at the same time, like you built a relationship with your coach and your mentor. Like that's what doesn't, you might know a professor, but then you leave them every semester. Right. But now you have mentor, mentee. That's what happens in online like business, man. So dude, it's amazing, man. And like when you, so how did you get across the finish line with this thing? And like what, when you, now that you've made a comic book, did that inspire you to start pursuing this even more? Or were you like, I did that, I'm done. But like, what'd you do next?
Oh no, man. It definitely inspired me so much more. Evan got me out of my comfort zone. That's what this whole thing was about. It was to show me something that I had no idea that it can be produced by me, period. As of now, after doing the book, it showed me.
Well, pause. Let me interrupt you for a second, Dan. Let me interrupt you. Sorry about this. And so the book was, Dameron and the team thought the book was simply going to be digital. You could read it on your iPad, which is true.
Yeah.
But then I went ahead, something that they did not expect at all. And Dameron, what did I do?
Yeah, you printed the book out and mailed it to my house.
Yeah, that's legit. He's holding it up. If you're watching, hold on, wait, Evan, say something. So it's on YouTube here. What's it called?
Condemned.
Condemned.
Yeah.
And you can find that book on Gumroad at dameronc.gumroad.com.
We'll put that link in the show notes too.
And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can at Dameron_sketchbook, and you can find that book on a link that's on my page as well.
Can you order the print one on Gumroad? You can order the print.
Yes,
one?
you can. Yes, you can order the print. It's digital and it's physical, so you can order the digital or the physical copy, and I will personally mail.
Man, that's like the ideas in your mind appeared in the real world, man. That's like an architect thinks of a building and it appears, or a husband and wife think of a kid and it appears. It's like, nah, man, I thought of a book. I thought of a story. I thought of something and it physically like manifested, man, through this process, dude.
Absolutely. You know what? A lot of this manifested in this process because at that point in time before Evan, I didn't look. It was at a point in time where I didn't realize Evan was my mentor until he was my mentor.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it like I'm doing this artwork, I'm drawing, and I'm watching another YouTube video, and some people feel like, oh, you need to have a mentor or professional eyes looking at your work in order to improve. And I said to myself, I need a mentor. And that's exactly when Evan actually came into asking me, hey, would you like to work on a comic book? And I still didn't realize he was a mentor at this point. I'm thinking like, maybe I'm just going to do this comic book. Didn't know what I was going to get out of it. It was, and Evan don't even know this part of it, but it was at this point when I'm working on a comic, and Evan, the people that was, this is where I realized he had a whole team, different teams on that he was working with that all did their own comics as well. Each of us had the same stories where everyone had their own life, and you had certain people, each team working harder than the rest. And he brought us together as his A team, and we basically inspired each other. Now we all are still working on our separate comics, but we're doing it together to inspire each other to keep going because we all going through the same thing of frustration. It was at this moment, Evan, he didn't know this part, but I remember one day Evan asked me, he just hit me up and said, hey, you want to do a Zoom right quick? I want to look at your work. And that was constantly happening. And I told my wife, I have Evan Burse on speed dial. I can't believe this.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling because I remember when Pat Flynn gave me his phone number and I was just looking down at it you know, and because that's like my guy, and I like it's my Evan Burse basically. And I was just looking down, going, this dude has 100 million downloads, and I got his phone number. Right? and then I started getting other people's phone numbers. I was like, holy crap, I can call these people whenever I want. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, man.
And to add to that, I felt the same way about your phone number, Shane. I was like, I can call Shane. Like, I was like, but I can't abuse it. Otherwise, he'll change his number.
No, you can abuse it. You have permission.
I can't. Can I call him? Can I not call him? You know, dude, can I text him? Can I not text him?
What you know what's funny though is like this is like talking to you guys. It's so funny how what we do is also different. You know, with online business, it's not the same thing. And like, but it's funny because the reason Evan became that y'all developed. Everyone wants somebody to be their mentor. Like people always ask me all the time, how much does it cost to talk to you? And I'm like, you can't pay to talk to me. That's not how it works. That's not how it works anymore. I got enough people now where it's hard for me to even manage the time I've got. The people I invest in, and Evan can back me up on this. I want to see the people who go through the gauntlet. I want to see the people who go into the community and go through our coaching programs and go through our communities and take the courses and finish 100% of the trainings and go the year to build their online business and become successful and then continue to go out and build and bless another people. Those are always the people that end up, or I'm not there's a Voxer thread we've got of all the people that we travel with that I bring on my teams. Most of them are people that came through our community. Like those people have me on speed dial. They ain't paying for it. You know, and heck, I'm paying them half the time to go out and do work for me. So like, it's like that's not how it works, man. You can hire coaches and you need them, but you have to earn mentee. You have to earn mentorship. And I think people just want to shortcut it, you know, but you earned it, man. Like it's not that he gave you his phone number. It's that, you know, you got his respect. Right. Yeah. And that's just like the manifestation of it. But it's like, because you didn't, I guarantee you there's other people that were in that same process on those other teams that did give up. And I guarantee you that Evan Burse ain't calling them for a Zoom. Right. So like that's right. Yeah, so you earned it, man. And that's what you got to do. That's everything you do in life, whether it's start your own business, make a comic book, raise chickens. I don't care what your business is or who you're the student of. It's the perseverance to the finish line that earns respect. Yeah. And dude, you've earned that respect, man. You deserve it, man. And it never would have happened if Evan had not started that first YouTube video and put his content out there. It never would have happened. Like I mean, Evan, I'm sure you value. I saw you guys hanging out, man. Like there was a genuine affection and friendship and like love there, man. Like how proud are you? How much pride does it give you to see what Dameron accomplished? And like, how does that even feel about, I mean, forget what he paid to ever join the cartoon block or buy a course, man. How's that feel as the leader
for me,
of the website?
For me, when we're just like, when I see the growth in Dameron and to see when he would tell me later on after they got the comic book done, he would tell me, Evan, like it was your encouragement, you putting me around other artists, the accountability that I didn't have and all those things that aren't really art related. It's like encouragement and accountability, you know, those are the things that are really more important. And I'm just like, wow, I thought I was just going to teach people how to draw superheroes. I'm helping people just, how can I love on them, you know, to help them pursue their craft. And so when we were in Chicago, and I told Dameron, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be here, you know, with my mentor, Shane, and I'm done with working, you know, his conference seminar for the weekend. Want to grab some breakfast? You know, so Dameron came through because he lives in Chicago. And because I was flying out a few hours later that afternoon. So Dameron came and had breakfast with me and my wife, Zena. And he's like, yo, Evan, I need to pick your brain on something. He pulls out his iPad and shows me that he's working on a children's book.
Let's go. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then tells me that this children's book has already gotten interest from who, Dameron?
Oh, it got interest from people in Illinois that's trying to put my book into libraries in Springfield and in public schools as of now.
That's so you already have a connection. They want to put his his book in libraries,
and they haven't even showed. I haven't shown any artwork. Just talking to people, and getting out there, get out of my comfort zone. That's another thing that Evan really grasped into me. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't be nervous. This is something that you want. And this is what's happening now. He has helped me in so many different ways, to the point I do get emotional just thinking.
Dude, I'm getting emotional. I am. I'm sitting here a minute ago, man. I just kind of was like, I'm glad I'm not on camera because, like, because I mean, it's hard for me to express like how much I love Evan. I mean, we're it's not even. I mean, mentor, all those words we throw around, but I mean, Evan's one of my friends. I mean, that's just the way it is, man. Like, I love him. I love his wife. Love his kids. We've jammed on personal things and private things, and we've prayed for each other over the years, and but just to know, man, that you guys have this relationship and that Flip Lifestyle was 1% of it. You know what I mean? And like, and then to know that, like, I mean, I just know that when you have that children book done, man, and you have it in your hand and it is in a library and you can take your kids to the library and pull it off the shelf. And then who knows where it goes after that? Maybe it gets published. Maybe it gets put out there. I mean, who knows, like it's extremely emotional, man, because that's how we change the world for the better, man. That's how we make it actually better. It's not just we're starting businesses. No, man, we're starting, I don't even like to call them businesses, man. We're starting communities of humans who are together and pushing back the darkness, man.
That's true. That's what it is.
Yeah. It feels good, man.
Shane, I never answered your question. How do I feel seeing Dameron, doing these things? Well, when I saw his children's book and he already had gotten a buyer for it, I mean, the connection at the Abraham Lincoln Library was like, oh, yeah, I'll buy your book. We're ready to put it in our libraries here in Springfield, Illinois. Let us know when you have it done. I'm like, dude, I just showed you how to do a comic. You've now migrated on children's book.
Ain't that the truth?
And who knows? And so to answer your question, how did it make me feel? I'm just like, I could not have fathomed this.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is all God. This is beyond me. I'm like, that's how I felt. Like, this is beyond me.
It makes me always want to go back and get the next one. That's how I always feel. Like when I saw Evan launch, like I knew Evan now was equipped. Like Evan's ran his own business now for years, like, of course he hits me up and stuff, but like, it's like, Dameron, you're equipped now, man. You're equipped. Yeah. Somebody taught LeBron James how to shoot a basketball one day, right? He did the rest. But he had to have the fundamentals and he had to get it out there and he had to win his first game and he had to do all these things. And it's the same thing here, man. And like to see that happen downstream, what I'm saying, is pretty incredible. And like, even to hear that, like, I can't wait to hear the downstream stories. What's the children book called? What's it about?
The book is called Manners for Kids with Jasmine Rose. So I'm teaching kids manners.
Manners for kids.
Okay. What's the ripple from that? Like, what if 100,000 parents read that book and 100,000 kids learn their manners, and 100,000 kids with beautiful manners go out and they find husbands and wives and they teach their kids manners, and they're using that foundation, that fundamental, as how they interact with the world. You know what I'm saying? And what is the ripple from that? We'll never know, but we'll know. And that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. I mean, even before the books, even before this book, it was a manifestation of Evan giving me confidence. And when we went into the pandemic, after we finished the comic book, before this children's book, his encouragement, I wasn't working at this point. I lost my job. I didn't know if I was going back in. It was a pandemic, never been in one. And he gave me encouragement to do art for money. I made $800 just by doing easy things for people, doing logos for people or doing tattoo art. And I never got paid for art before until the comic, until doing this. And then it gave me that, okay, I can do a children's book. Let's see what happens. And I was really nervous to even ask Evan. You would think like, oh, I got this guy on speed dial. I can ask him, but I didn't want to bother him. So to sit at the breakfast table with him and his wife Zena I was like, I'm here with the man himself. I really hope I made him proud to show him something I've been working on, and he hasn't seen it yet. So I'm like, hey, Evan, I just want to like again pick your brain on something I've been working on. And he said, okay, let's see it. And I don't want to like interrupt you all's breakfast. He's like, no, let's see it. And I showed him. He was amazed. And to see your mentor amazement is more energy towards you. It's more energy. But at the same time, me working with Evan, I'm looking forward to him telling me anything I need to do to make this look good. Because at this point, I want your professional eyes to tell me what I may not see.
Yeah.
And
what's cool is too, you've been through this process before with the comic book. I don't even know if you're realizing this. I get this 1,000-foot view from everybody, but like, it's so funny. Like there's not even a hint that this isn't going to happen. It's not going to manifest out in the world. It's not going to finish. Like, it's not like the book where there were struggles and you thought, why am I doing this? There is this momentum that you can feel. Like you're not saying you want him to look at it or give you encouragement anymore. So you've already been encouraged and you've already been pushed to the limit. And you've already been drug across the finish line by hand and feet, right? And like now it's just like, yo, look at this because I want it to be the best. It's not. There's zero question if it's happening. That's gone because your coach brought you through that, and now you're equipped, and that's what we're all doing is just equipping people we're teaching people to fish, right? Yeah, you know how to fish now, son.
Absolutely, and I see I got that ripple effect with my kids. They see me drawing this book. They see me drawing constantly and they picking it up too. And that's another thing, now I do have the Evan Burse energy. I have that energy when I first came into his YouTube channel. And like you said, I didn't see Marvel or anything else. I saw that this guy is putting out progressing co-artwork and he's happy, he's joyous to it. And he has so much energy. I like this. And it pulled me in. So now my kids are seeing me with my energy, putting in artwork, and they looking over my shoulder and they saying, wow, you did that. They saw my comic. They see in my children's book. They see in everything that I'm progressing because I have now inherent the Evan Burse energy.
Ain't it crazy? It's like that question. I'll circle back here to the guy asked Mother Teresa. Do you really think you can really change the world? I may cry, man. I may just, but like, it's like that question, man. Do you really, Evan, do you really think that drawing comic book heroes for people is going to change somebody's world? Like someone could have said that to you and be like, how trivial. You're teaching people how to draw comic book heroes. Oh man, it's so much bigger than that. Everything that we do is so much bigger. It's like just by having that one course to help Dameron go out and like draw his thing and to get across the finish line. And now his kids are being impacted and other people's kids are going to be impacted. And it's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I can cast my stone out upon the waters and I can cause many ripples. And so can Evan, so can Dameron, so can everybody that hears my voice right now. And it only happens when you pick up the pen and you go. That's what happens, man. That's what makes all of this come to pass. It's the reason, Evan, I don't even remember what year we met. What year was that? I don't even know.
I was the top of 2015, 2016.
So 7-8 years ago, you and I met. And 8 years later, we're sitting here with Dameron, seeing the amazing things he's doing and hearing about how what we started back then is affecting his kids now. And I have zero doubt that we're going to come back here 6-7 years from now. And we're going to hear a story of this, of 10 children's books that got released or something, started a series and are changing the world in Dameron's own way as it ripples.
And it's funny you mentioned that as far as like a series or ripple or something like that. That was one of the things that, sitting down with Dameron at breakfast, Zena and I had mentioned to him, we were like, Dameron, this book is looking good. It's a lot in it. You know what? This is too much for one book.
Multiple books, baby. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, that's the series coming up. Well, listen, guys, man, I appreciate you both so much, man. You know, I love you, Evan. I love you now too, Dameron, baby. You can't shake me now. You can't shake me. But I do, and I just want to tell you both, you know, Evan especially, man. You know, just because we're so close, but I am so proud of you, man. Like it's just like, you know, I take your story everywhere I go, not to toot my own horn, but to show what's possible, so that other people will believe as well. And it was just, Dameron, man, it's been an honor to get to know you. And to see the good works that Evan has done in your life, and to see you now grab the torch, and to see the confidence and encouragement. And, you know, I just can't wait to support your book and throw links out to your comic book and just anything we can do, man, to help you as well. And I just want to tell you both, man, I'm proud of you. And, you know, now that you got the momentum, man, we can't stop. We can't do it. So before we go, I want to give both of you a chance to shamelessly plug your stuff so that everybody can go check you guys out, whether you're an inspiring artist, or you want to check out, if you love comic books and you love children, you got children's books, you want to teach your kids manners, whatever it is. Evan, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, and then we'll bounce over to Dameron and we'll be out.
Yeah, if you want to see more of my stuff online, go check out the cartoonblock.com. THECART block. You know, I think I misspelled that. Just the cartoon block.
I'll put a real link in that you can click.
Put a real link. No one listening to me. No one listening to me. Yeah,
you ain't got to spell to draw Batman. I'm just saying.
I know it. Thecartoonblock.com, where I show you how to draw your favorite superheroes like the pros.
All right, and then Dameron, where can they connect with you? Give us that Gumroad link one more time, and also give us your Instagram.
All right, you can find me first of all, Instagram is Dameron, DAMERON _sketchbook, SKETCHBOOK, at Dameron Sketchbook. And the Gumroad, you can find a link to my Gumroad book on my page, but for the Gumroad link, it's Dameron C, DAMERONC.gumroad.com. And be looking out for my children's book, Manners for Kids with Jasmine Rose, coming in 2023.
All right, guys. We'll wrap that up. We'll put links to everything in the show notes. Thank you both for being here, man. It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Me and Evan and Dameron, we kept talking, guys, and I'm telling you, it was so good. Here's some bonus footage for you. So here we go.
Thank you for shedding some light on this whole, I guess, chain. I didn't even think about ripples and things.
I've never heard this done in a podcast. I've never heard of it. When Jocelyn came up with the idea, we've never really had time to put it together, and it was just God's timing that we all ran into each other in the lobby. But we've thought about doing this forever, but like we've heard these stories through our communities, because we have so many people in our community. But like, I've like, man, this is amazing. It's like a whole different. I've never heard anybody do this before on a podcast. You know,
think about that. You know, how you say about like started with like Pat and then your students and
there was a guy before Pat. His name's Jeremy. There was a guy before Pat.
Jeremy.
Jeremy. I don't know. I can't remember his last name. He was an old school podcaster. Ran a thing called Internet Business Mastery. Okay. And he was Pat joined a local meetup in San Diego, and he said that guy just one day was like, Pat was telling him about his blog, and he's like, people will pay you for that. And he goes, what? He goes, yeah, you get a PayPal button. You throw it up there for $20 and you can email them a PDF study guide for the architect test.
Started.
And Pat's like, you're kidding me. I mean, no, he goes, 416 people bought the first month. He made $8,000. And then Pat started his business, and he just was doing architect stuff. He didn't have to start a podcast, you know? Sure. And then I found his podcast, and I was like, holy crap, this is it. This is what I can do. And then I started mine, and then we did it again. And then you started yours, and you did it again. And Dameron's writing his, and he's doing it again. And like, it never ends, you know?
Yeah. It was good. Yeah. So Dameron really is on it. I mean, he was on it, and I saw the potential. Dameron, saw the potential in you, man. I'm like, no, this guy has skills. Like, we can do something with this, and just pushing him through.
And anything's possible, dude. Like it's hard to 10x your thinking sometimes, even when you're where you are, Dameron. But like, I'm telling you, man, I keep unlocking new levels that I had no clue existed. And, like, that's awesome that library wants your book. Yeah. But that should, if you can find one, you can find 101 or 1,001 or 1,000,001. Why not every library in the country? Why not every Barnes and Noble in the country? Why not every top listing in Amazon when someone types in? Why not? It don't make no sense why it wouldn't be. If it's possible, it's possible, straight up. Right.
Oh man, but if it wasn't for that first comic book, I would not just getting out of that comfort zone. I would not. Now I'm so inspired.
Dude, isn't it crazy? The first thing is almost never what really blows it up. It ain't your first job. It ain't your first thing. It's the first proof you can do it. Mm-hmm. That's all. That first course was awesome, Evan. But then Evan started a membership and a community and did coaching and started live events. And everyone gets over this. They got to hit a home run out of the gate. No, you don't. You have to prove that you can make contact with the ball. Yeah. And if you can get better at that. And that's where you are now. You're just getting better at the craft.
And Dameron came. He's one of the students that came to my live event in LA back in September.
Oh, you mean if you show up, you succeed? It's unbelievable, people. Hold on. But that's the truth, man. It's like, if you got to put yourself in the right place to be in the right place at the right time. Like if you don't get up and drive across the street from Chicago to hang out with Evan Burse, we don't talk and you're not here. Right. And everybody can learn from that, man. You gotta put yourself in the right place to be. It doesn't work the other way around. Oh, I was in the right place at the right time. There ain't no stories like that in the history of the world. There's not. Right. Somebody walked where they were when they got hit by the boulder. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way it is. Yeah. Yep. Man.